Hello, it's Goddess Siham here. I just wanted to make this video in regards to what a kink is, what a fetish is. I think that there's a lot of people that aren't aware maybe of what a kink is and what a fetish is. There's been a lot of talk about this lately. We all know that certain sites have been banning certain content, which they are the bosses of their companies, so that is their choice. Even though I disagree with it, I respect their decision. Anyway, let's get started with what is a kink? A kink is what is basically considered out of the norm. I was asking some people last night on my Twitter, like, what are some kinks or fetishes that you find odd? It doesn't mean you're kink shaming. It's just something that you may find odd, farting, that's a kink. Some people are into it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But again, I'm not kink shaming. Like, people like what they like. To me, I'm just saying it's odd, but it's a really popular kink. Like, I Want Clips and stuff, farting videos really sell, and I give it up to you ladies and men who do it, whoever does it, because I've considered doing it just because I see them selling a lot, and it's like, how are they doing that? Like, are you guys eating a can of fucking beans, or how do you do that? That's some fucking talent. One that I found was eyebrow shaving. Like, that is actually a kink that people are into. Burping, I just recently did my first burping video. That was really fucking fun. I've always seen them selling a lot, and I got my first ASMR, not my first ASMR, what am I talking about? I got my Yeti mic, and I just had to try it out. It was really fun, but again, not everybody is into that. Not everybody wants to see somebody burping or farting. Giantness, that's a huge one. Huge one, giantness. People are into that. Again, to me, I find it a little odd, but I'm not going to shame the performer who is fulfilling that kink. And I'm not going to shame the customer who wants that, because we all like what we like, Hiccups, that's another one. These are all considered kinks. Like I said, these are outside what's considered the norm. Vomit, I've done it. I have. I charged an arm and a leg for it, but a guy wanted me like choking on a dick to where I was gagging and vomiting. So I ate like a bunch of fucking hamburgers and cheeseburgers that I wasn't supposed to eat. It was like my excuse to do it. I think that's why I wanted to do it. But anyway, all these are what are considered kinks. They're outside of what people may think is normal. A fetish. A fetish is like when you have a fetish towards a direct object, like maybe high heels or stockings, things of that nature. You have a fetish towards a direct object. So with that being said, every kink is a fetish, but with that being said, not every fetish is a kink. So it can get a little bit confusing. It was a little bit confusing to me. It still kind of is. This is still all very new to me somewhat. Like, I just feel like I'm just getting my feet wet with this stuff. That's why I can't wait for what I got coming up. But anyway, this is porn, not everything is for everybody. I'm not gonna lie, I've come across some stuff, it's like, whew, holy shit, like, that's crazy. But at the end of the day, you gotta remember, it's porn, it's not politics. And people are allowed to like what they like. I understand, like, in regards to certain stuff, like, if you know me in the industry, well, some of you think you do, but if you think you do know me, or you do know me, I know I'm confusing myself. Anyway, if you've heard of me in the industry, some of my content is pretty controversial. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. I do race play, I do blasphemy videos, which have been banned from sites. Like I said, I don't agree with it because I don't believe anybody should be kink shaming. Who I am as a performer does not, that doesn't have anything to do with who I am in my real life. that, you know, that's just silly to say that. I once had a cam girl tell me that I should keep like my blasphemy stuff and my race play stuff to myself. And I'm like, girl, I was just on your page and you have a video of you pretending to fuck your sister in front of your dad, which there's nothing wrong with that. I find that hot. I like those kind of videos myself. But anyway, like my point is, like, is she listening to herself? There's people out there that are offended by her content. Is she going to bow down to their feelings and stop making that content or stop posting that content? No. Again, with like even like race play content, guys, they are into that. That doesn't define who I am as a person. What I do or what I say in videos, that doesn't define the real me, Nikki. Okay. That's just like Siham, Goddess Siham. I love her so much. You know, some of you guys, some of this is going to sound like I'm repeating myself because you've heard me talk about this before, but if you're new to me, Goddess Siham started when I got my award taken away 2 years ago. I won an award through many bids and I got that taken away because a bunch of spiteful cam girls reported me with my race play stuff and tried to making me out to be a real racist in real life. Silly stuff. I know. So they took my award away. And when they did that, I thought, you know what? This is a perfect time for me to really do what I want to do in this industry. Because at that point, I thought, you know what? Like, I'm being who I want to be in the industry and I'm getting shit on for it. I might as well go all out and do my thing. And that's when Goddess Siham was created. You know, I've always had a thing for Muslims and Arabs. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm like redoing my whole fucking house up and this stuff. Like, I love it. It's so beautiful. And like the hijabs, the men in the turbans and the head dressings, I love it. I could listen to Arab men speak in Arabic all day long. It is just so relaxing, so calming. Anyway, calm down, girl. So anyway, I made my first Muslim video. And it was like, wow, this is really fun, you know? So I made some more. That's still when I wore the glasses. I think I was afraid to like make videos without my glasses because I think my glasses like covered me up some. You know how people feel like they're covered up some with like when they wear glasses. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But anyway, so I was doing that for like the past year or two. And then like I learned about blasphemy. And I'm still just getting my feet with it. Like, what with it, it's crazy stuff, you know. Guys, they like you to, you know, say stuff about their religion, their country, and they love it. Again, I briefly touched base on this at the beginning of the video. Recently many vids stopped allowing blasphemy videos, and again, I respect their decision. They're the boss, they can do what they want. However, I don't agree with it. You know, they say they want to give their performers the ability to be who they want to be as sexual performers, yet we are basically, they were judging people like me for fulfilling this kink as if I'm a real hateful person in real life. In reality, like I said, I love Muslims, I love Arabs. You know, the Middle East, they don't have sexual freedom like we do. A lot of these guys I talk to on a personal level, and a lot of them, they are the sweetest guys. They really are. You know, and they tell me about how it is to be able to, like, how they can't get married, how hard it is. And they don't have any sexual freedom at all. Like, I have some guys that are in their late 20s and 30s who are still virgins. Like, porn is their outlets. You know, that's why I'm here. This is what I do. You know, I'm fulfilling their sexual needs. So, you know, when you get content like mine banned from sites, you are not doing them any favors. To me, that's a slap in the face to them, telling them you can't have that as a kink and you're not allowed to like that because it hurts my feelings. Sometimes I wonder if it really truly does, or if it's just done out of spite because it's me. I don't know. My whole point with this is people need to understand what a kink is, what a fetish is, and as performers, who we are in the industry. Again, they don't define who we are in real life. They don't. I understand some of these kinks and fetishes may get to you on an emotional level, I'm sorry for that, but you can't take it that way. You know, if you are new in the industry, if you've been in the industry and, you know, you're having trouble finding yourself as a performer, who you want to be, my advice to you is do what the fuck you want. Don't hold back from doing what you want to do in these videos. Like, this is 2019. Have you seen some of these videos that are out there? These cam girls, these sex workers blow me the fuck away. Like, with some of their editing and like some of the shit that they do. I sit there and just awe sometimes. I'm like, how the fuck they do that? Like, it's mind blowing. I mean, the sex industry with amateur sex workers, like, we're blowing the fuck up. Like, we're taking things to a whole new level. We have fucking studios in our fucking houses. Like, you know, like, it's insane. It's really insane. You can't be doing what everybody else is doing. You find something you like, you do it. I have undergone a lot. I have touched base with this so many times. I've got an award taken away because I stood my ground as a performer and I wasn't afraid to step outside of the box and fulfill certain fetishes that not everybody agrees with. It's okay. I'm right here to take the money. I don't mind. I've had prize money taken away. I recently had my clips for sale page taken down. Some of you may have heard about this as well. For my race play videos, which are very much allowed on the site. If you go there right now and type in interracial domination videos, I don't have this on right and it's irritating me. Sorry. They're very much allowed on the site. I did have a little thing that happened with the Clips for Sale Twitter page, and I accidentally got their page. I don't think it was suspended, but it was, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. I don't know. They weren't allowed on it for a few days because some of my videos had certain words in it that weren't allowed, and so it got their page shut down for a while. So anyway, Neil, the CEO of Clips for Sale, told me, hey, just make sure in your titles and your descriptions you don't have these certain words in there, which were racial slurs. And I said, that's fine. I'm going to make sure I don't do it. This is the only site that allows this content, you know? So I wasn't going to fuck that up. All my videos were top sellers on there, every single one of them. Again, so I was not about to fuck this up. So I obeyed the rules. I followed the rules. Well, one day, a group of girls on Twitter got on me about my videos, and they got a bunch of them together, and they reported me. And I got a message from Neil that he had to take my page down. I'm like, bro, I did everything you told me to do, and I made sure not to do what you told me not to do. And he goes, I know, but I have all these people complaining. And when you have a big business like that, you can't have that. I don't go through this with any other girl or any other models. And I can't have all this negativity towards the site. And he told me, basically, he said, you know, I know this is bullshit that these girls do this and they bitch about this every day, stuff like this happening to them in the industry, but they don't stop, is what he said. I still have his emails, but then he turned around and still allowed it. Well, after that happened, I got a message from another cam girl who's a sex worker who said, your Many Vids page is next. And she laughed. As soon as she said that, I said, there goes my blasphemy videos. Bye-bye. I already knew. So, of course, a group of them, they got together and they reported my videos to Many Vids. And sure enough, I get an email from Many Vids talking about how they're not going to allow the content anymore and how they wanted to give me a call. So, you know, there wasn't any confusion about what was allowed, what wasn't allowed. And so I got a phone call from them. We talked for 30 minutes. They were very nice, very professional. The guy who I spoke with, I could tell by his reaction that I can't put words in his mouth, but I could tell he thought it was nonsense. Like, he was just like, wow. Because at first he's like, well, I don't want you thinking that, you know, we're singling you out and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, well, actually, this was done because of me. You know, like, everybody that day, it was funny. They were saying, oh, why can't Christians have this as a king, da-da-da. And say, no one had a problem with that. It was because it was me. But I do appreciate Many Vids. At least they didn't single me out like Clips for Sale did and take my whole page down, because that was just so unfair and unprofessional. But at the same time though, you know, like these companies, they feel like they're left with no choice. They can't have what they've made destroyed. But at the same time, that's bullshit that they allow these other sex workers to do that to fellow sex workers, because it's just wrong and unethical. So if you've been watching my journey as a sex worker, it's been fucking crazy. You know, whether you like me or you don't like me, that is okay. But I truly believe that you can take something from this. Like, I'm still here. I'm not giving up. Like, Siham, this is just the beginning for her. And like, I'm so anxious for her to see where I end up with this. You know, I think everybody just needs to stop this high school stuff. Like, if you can't distinguish what a kink is, what a fetish is, I think maybe you're too immature for the industry. We should all be able to be adults about this and respect one another as a sex worker, to realize who we role play does not define us as a real person. I can't say that enough. Again, if you're new to sex work, or if you've been in the industry for a while, don't be afraid to find your niche. Don't be afraid to step outside the box, because nobody wants to see the same thing. You know, find what works for you. If you're going to be shamed for it, take it as a compliment. I take all the hate that I get and I use it as ambition to push harder and to become even greater. You know, like, this is who I am as a performer. This is Goddess Siham, and I love her. I could wear this every day, all day. I could. I would if I could. I love it. I don't care what anybody says. Obviously I do, because if I didn't, I'd probably walk around like this. So to an extent. But as a performer, you have to love yourself, love what you do, and be confident in yourself, because again, at the end of the day, nobody but you is making money to pay your bills. You know, it's funny when everybody is on my shit about my Arab and my Muslim content. I have these guys pouring money in my account like it's nothing. Like, it's insane sometimes. It's mind-blowing sometimes. It's like, whoa, why didn't I find this stuff sooner, you know? So anyway, I've been talking for a good 18 minutes. So I hope you guys all got to listen to all of this. You know, again, I don't know if this is ever going to stop. You know, we have a huge stigma against us from society as sex workers, and it's really sad seeing fellow sex workers condemning one another for fulfilling certain kinks or fetishes that they don't agree with, because at the end of the day, that is what is destroying our industry, you know? And I don't know. I wanted to get that all out to you. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave me a star review. And let me know your thoughts. Even if it's negative, let me know. I like to hear feedback, whether it is positive or negative, because like I said, I don't know. I use all that for content, and I don't know. I like hearing both sides. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. You see my palm tree in the back there? I got to get it put out in my backyard. My table came for outside today, and I had my husband come home from work to set it up, my umbrella table. We've been waiting 2 weeks for it. It was supposed to come last week. Came today with no fucking screws. So that's going outside with it. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed again, and bye-bye.